Is it widely known that for an elderly person, one of the most critical periods of the day is associated with taking a shower? This act seems completely harmless and even calming. However, after the age of 70, a shower taken at an inappropriate time can subtly increase the likelihood of fainting, stroke, or even acute cardiac events. This material will examine which specific times for showering pose the greatest threat to older adults and explain why certain parts of the day, often those least expected to cause trouble, can unexpectedly jeopardize their cardiovascular system, brain activity, and coordination. Each of these 5 tips is based on extensive medical research, documented clinical cases, and consistent patterns observed by geriatric specialists. These experts have studied the subtle mechanisms by which the aging process impacts circulation, body temperature, and neurological responses. If you or someone you know has recently experienced episodes of vertigo, or perhaps felt unwell after a shower but couldn't explain why, this information may provide the answers you're looking for. The first point: showering too early in the morning. Upon waking, the human body is still gradually transitioning from a state of deep rest to full activity. During this period, blood pressure adjusts, heart rate increases, and circulation slowly recovers after several hours of immobility. For older adults, especially those over 70, this transition doesn't always proceed smoothly. Showering too early, particularly within the first 15 to 30 minutes of waking, can provoke a kind of shock to a body that isn't yet ready. The reason is that their blood vessels remain slightly constricted, and body temperature is lower. When a person moves from a lying to a standing position, their body is already working harder to maintain balance. Adding the warmth, steam, and vertical posture of a shower creates ideal conditions for dizziness, fainting, or a sudden drop in blood pressure. Jerry, an 81-year-old man, used to wake up at 6 a.m. and immediately head to the bathroom for a shower before breakfast. One morning, he suddenly lost consciousness. It happened without any prior signals or symptoms. He simply blacked out. It turned out his body couldn't adequately respond to the sudden stress. He went from sleep to standing in hot water in less than 10 minutes, and his blood pressure couldn't adapt in time. His doctor recommended a simple change: wait at least 30 minutes after waking, drink a glass of water, stretch a little, and then shower. Since then, he hasn't experienced any similar problems. The core issue isn't irrational fear, but fundamental aspects of physiology. The human circulatory system needs time. Allowing this time significantly increases the chances of keeping the brain, heart, and balance safe. So if your routine starts with getting out of bed and going straight to the shower, consider a small pause. Give your body a chance to fully recover. This could be one of the wisest changes you make this year. The second point: excessively hot showers before bed. There's something undeniably soothing about a warm evening shower. It helps relax muscles, washes away the day's fatigue, and seems to make falling asleep easier. However, if the water is too hot, especially for someone over 70, it can do more harm than good. Hot water causes an increase in internal body temperature. It leads to the dilation of blood vessels and forces the heart to work harder. For younger individuals, this is generally not an issue. But for older adults, whose cardiovascular systems are often less adaptive, sudden heat can destabilize the body's natural rhythm. Here's the catch: when the body gets too hot before sleep, it has to work harder to lower its temperature. This cooling process is critical not only for ensuring restful sleep, but also for maintaining stable blood pressure and an optimal heart rate throughout the night. For older adults, this strain on the system, combined with natural age-related changes in heart function, can subtly increase the risk of nocturnal heart attacks or sleep-associated strokes. Marilyn, 77, used to take long hot showers right before bed because they eased her arthritis symptoms. However, she often woke up in the middle of the night feeling sluggish, dizzy, or anxious. After consulting her doctor, she started making the water a few degrees cooler and shifted her shower time to immediately after dinner. The difference was striking: her sleep significantly improved, blood pressure stabilized, and nighttime anxieties completely disappeared. If you prefer an evening shower, there's no need to give up the habit entirely, but consider lowering the water temperature to warm, not hot, and allow yourself at least an hour afterward to cool down before getting into bed. And if you wake up with night sweats, a racing heart, or morning confusion, this simple change might be exactly what your body has been signaling. The third point: showering immediately after eating. After a meal, the human body reconfigures its priorities. Blood flow is actively directed to the stomach and other digestive organs to facilitate food breakdown, nutrient absorption, and blood sugar regulation. For younger individuals, this redistribution of blood usually goes unnoticed. However, with age, the body's ability to maintain circulatory balance, especially when needs compete, begins to change. This is why showering soon after eating can be risky for older adults. Especially if the water is hot or the person stands for too long, they can unconsciously divert blood away from the digestive process while simultaneously placing additional strain on their cardiovascular system. The result can be dizziness, lightheadedness, a sudden drop in blood pressure, or in more serious cases, fainting and stroke-like symptoms caused by reduced blood flow to the brain. Walter, a 75-year-old man, had a habit of eating breakfast, finishing his coffee, and immediately heading to the bathroom to freshen up. Several times, he felt dizzy in the shower but attributed it to age. It was only after a small fall that his doctor explained what was actually happening. His body was sending blood to his stomach for digestion. But the warmth of the shower and the vertical position diverted that blood elsewhere, leaving his brain without sufficient blood supply. Since then, he waits at least 45 minutes after eating before showering, and he hasn't had any dizzy spells since. So if you've ever felt weak, overheated, or lost your balance during a post-meal shower, your body might be trying to tell you something important. Give your system time to digest. Let your food settle. Then, take your shower when your circulation isn't working overtime. It's a simple change, but it could save you from a dangerous fall or something far worse. The fourth point, showering during peak daytime heat in poorly ventilated homes. There's a hidden danger many older adults overlook, especially in warm climates or older homes without proper ventilation. This relates to showering during the hottest part of the day, when heat has already accumulated indoors. From roughly noon to mid-afternoon, body temperature naturally rises. Add to that the ambient heat trapped inside homes, and you have ideal conditions for overheating. Now, imagine taking a warm shower at this time in a bathroom with poor airflow or no fan. Suddenly, your body is enveloped in steam. Your blood vessels dilate, and your ability to cool down is impaired. This is especially true if your sweating response is diminished, which is common in older adults. The issue here isn't just discomfort, but a disruption of thermoregulation. Older adults are more susceptible to heat stress, and when the body overheats, it diverts resources to the skin and extremities in an attempt to cool down, often at the expense of the brain and internal organs. This can lead to nausea, confusion, a sharp drop in blood pressure, or in severe cases, fainting or heart attacks. Betty, 80, used to shower after lunch, especially on hot days, believing it would help her cool down. But she consistently noticed she felt more exhausted afterward than usual. Her son installed a thermometer and a fan in the bathroom. They were shocked to find that even before the water started running, the room temperature already exceeded 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. She moved her shower time to late morning and kept the fan on with the door slightly ajar. Now she feels refreshed, without dizziness or exhaustion. If you tend to shower in the middle of the day, take a moment to check the ventilation in your bathroom. Use fans, open a window if possible, and avoid very warm water during these hours. Your body may not warn you verbally, but it will react, and often by the time it does, it's already under significant strain. The fifth point, cold morning showers and vascular shock. For some, a cold shower is considered an invigorating tonic, a powerful jolt to awaken the body and sharpen the senses. However, for older adults, especially those with heart or blood pressure issues, this cold jolt can be not just unpleasant, but extremely dangerous. When cold water makes contact with the skin, especially early in the morning when the body is still adapting to wakefulness, it causes an immediate constriction of blood vessels. This is the body's natural defense mechanism, aimed at preserving internal temperature. But in older adults, this sudden vasoconstriction can lead to a sharp spike in blood pressure and significant strain on the heart. What's worse, it reduces blood flow to the extremities and, more critically, can restrict oxygen-rich blood to the brain for several crucial moments. Such a state can provoke mild dizziness, fainting, or if a person already has narrowed arteries, trigger a heart attack or a microstroke. Bill, 73, started taking cold showers after reading about their supposed anti-aging properties. He never had issues in his 40s or 50s, but now a few seconds under cold water left him gasping and slightly dizzy. He ignored these symptoms until one morning he fainted right in the shower. Paramedics later told him it was likely a rapid blood pressure spike from the cold exposure, combined with age-related changes in his circulation. He fully recovered, but has since switched to warm showers. For those over 70, there's no need to prove anything with cold water. If you prefer cooler temperatures, ease into them gradually. Start with warm water and slowly reduce the temperature over time, or save cool showers for the middle of the day when your body is fully awake and warmed up. Your circulatory system has served you faithfully for decades. There's no need to shock it with an icy blast first thing in the morning. A gentle start is often the safest and wisest way to begin your day. Final thoughts. As we age, not only what we do, but also when we do it, subtly shapes our health. And something as routine as a shower, taken at the wrong time, can carry risks most people aren't even aware of. We've just covered 5 specific times when showering can actually put a strain on your heart, brain, or balance. And none of them are about cleanliness. They're about how ready your body is to handle that moment. So take a step back and ask yourself, when do I usually shower? Right after waking, after eating, late at night, in the middle of a stuffy summer day? The good news is that small changes can make a big difference. Waiting 30 minutes after waking, letting food digest, taking warm but not hot showers, avoiding cold shocks when your circulation isn't ready, making sure your bathroom isn't a heat trap. These aren't just tips. They are small acts of protection, a way of telling your body, I'm listening. I care, and I want to keep you safe. Because after 70, every decision you make about your health matters. And even quiet routines like bath time can either contribute to longevity or subtly work against it.